Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have got what will likely be the final episode in my How to Snipe series. We've got episode 4 and we're looking at which cards are snipes. Now if you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, make sure you go and do that. I've put a link to the playlist down in the description, and once you've done that, come back here and watch the final episode, probably. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of a review of a couple of things from past episodes. First, what's a snipe? This was covered kind of in the first episode, but I want to say it again here, kind of rephrase it a little bit. I wrote that when you make profit by buying and then selling a card, it's a snipe. So we got to keep that in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is what we covered in pretty much all of episode 3, and that is what can you make on the cards that you're selling. Now, if you remember from last episode, we were posting the cards for 10% less than what they go for, and then of course you have the 10% auction house tax that's going to make it 10% less than that. So we're basically going to say 20% less than the going price is what you can make off of a card. And throughout this video we're going to use kind of an imaginary card that goes for 100,000 coins. So in this situation you can make 80,000 coins off of that card. Now we know how much we can make from selling cards, so we can answer the question in this episode. Which cards are snipes? Now, technically, anything under 20% less than the going price is going to be a snipe. So maybe goes for 100k, you see something for 79k. Technically, that is a snipe. However, it's not a very good one because you can only make 1,000 coins off of that, and it's pretty risky because let's say you try to sell it for 90k, but then your mirror card goes up for 110,000 and then it doesn't sell, and now 4 hours later you're posting it again, but now it goes for 5k less. You're looking at a negative snipe, which is not what you want. So the reason I don't say just anything less than 20% under the going price is because you want to give yourself room for 2 things. The first thing is profit, and the second thing is risk. The percentage that I use is 30%. I will buy stuff that is 30% under the going price. So the going price is 100k, 30% less than that is 70k. So if I can make 80k off of it, I buy it for 70k, that's 10,000 coins of profit right there, which is pretty solid. And let's say it doesn't sell, it, my mirror card goes up to 110, it doesn't sell, and the price drops by 5,000, I'm still looking at 5,000 coins profit, even though the card's value went down. So you want to use closer to 30% because of that risk, and so that you can actually make some profit. Now, that 30% rule isn't exact. It doesn't have to be followed exactly. If something's up maybe 29% less than the going price, that's probably also a good snipe, but you definitely should probably stay around 30%, and then obviously anything less, or anything that's less for 30% under the going price is going to be a really good snipe, and I won something there, I'm not sure. So now we know what a snipe is, and that's it, we're done, right? Wrong, because we still need to understand where we find them. How do you find snipes? And that's the next thing I want to address. And the first thing in that is filters. Filters are insanely important when you're sniping. And I tried to define it here. I said a filter is when you use the auction house search categories to get certain cards to show up. So if we go over to the auction house right now, we go to search, you see all the different things here. Player name, overall rating, tier, scheme, team, position, price, and program. All of those things can be used to filter players in and filter players out of your filter. So I'm actually going to go through a really quick example right here, and this is a way that you can make a filter. So what I'm going to do, this is one that I already know, but you can kind of just experiment with a bunch of different stuff. If we're going to go 95 plus, and we're going to put in a price of 20,000 coins right here, all that we're going to see here are 98 Evo quarterbacks. You've got the Manning, you got the Elway, you got the Montana, you got the Brady in here, all of those guys. But the thing is, none of them are snipes, because we filtered for 20k, but most of these guys go for about 10,000 coins, and you're pretty much never going to see anything less than maybe 7,000 or 8,000 coins in here. So this is a pretty bad filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to filter out these quarterbacks. So we're going to go to search, we're going to go to position, we're going to select every position and then unselect quarterback. And now there is nothing in our filter. So the way we get stuff in our filter is put the price up. I'm going to go to 50K because I know that that's a price that works pretty well right here. And now we see some cards, and there's not too many of them. We've got some 96s, we've got some 98s, and they're mostly halfback, wide receiver, and tight end. This is a good filter. This is a filter where you can make profit. Now, we still don't really know where to find them because, okay, we have a filter, that's cool, but then where's the snipes? Okay, there's an Eric Dickerson right there. Is that a snipe? Nope. Not a snipe right there. And we'll get to why it's not a snipe in a minute. But now we need to answer the question specifically, where will snipes be? And the answer is the 4-hour mark and the 8-hour mark and the 12-hour and the 24 and the 48 and the 72-hour mark. Those numbers come from how long you can post an auction for. So if you look right here, you could post it for 4 hours, you could post it for 8 hours, and it keeps going up, all of the ones that I said. So when somebody posts a snipe, it's going to be at one of those hour marks. Most commonly, it's going to be at the 4-hour mark. It's pretty rare to see them at the other ones. So when you're sniping, you always check the 4-hour mark because that's where the snipes are going to be. But you don't always need to check any of the other hour marks just because it's pretty rare to find drops there. So you could definitely say it's kind of a waste of your time. Now, there's still another question that arises when I talk about the 4-hour mark, and that is, what's the 4-hour mark? I definitely know that there's people that don't know what it is or don't really understand it or how to find it. So I'm going to do my best to explain that right now. So I wrote this down. I said, when you post an auction, you almost always post it for 4 hours, and so does everybody else in the game. So when somebody posts a snipe, it's going to go up for 4 hours most commonly. So to find those snipes, you need to scroll through the auction house until you see the first card that is up and has more than 4 hours remaining. So if I refresh right here in this filter that I'm in, and I scroll over and I see 2 hours, 52 minutes, keep scrolling, there's 3 hours, 3:21, that's a snipe. Couldn't get it. But immediately, you saw the Jonathan Ogden, you can go back and pause, it was up for like 3 hours, 59 minutes, and whatever seconds. And then, boom, immediately, Emmitt Smith is up for 11 minutes, or 11 hours rather, and 38 minutes. So that is the first card that is up for more than 4 hours. The snipes are going to be just to the left of that. So obviously, Ogden is just to the left of that first card that's up for more than 4 hours. He was up for like 3:59. He actually was a snipe right there. I tried to get him, couldn't get him. But that is where you're going to find your snipes. This is not just for the 4-hour mark. This is for every single one of the hour marks. So at the 8-hour mark, you're looking for the first card that is up for 8 hours or more. And then just to the left of that are the cards that just got posted a minute ago, 5 minutes ago, whatever it is. And those cards right there, that's where you're going to find your snipes. So let me just refresh right here and come back over here. So now we're looking at the Shannon Sharp. That is the card that we're looking at to be a snipe, and everything to the left of that. However, there's some things to consider. So first of all, this is the big one. If the card you're looking at has been sitting for a long time, it's pretty much never a snipe. So if we refresh right here, we've got Eric Dickerson right here. He's up for an hour and 26 minutes for $40,999. That's not a snipe. And I know that that is not a snipe without even looking at the price. I know that that is not a snipe because it's been sitting for over 2.5 hours. So for 2.5 hours, this card has been on the auction house, and everybody in the game has been able to buy that player, but everybody in the game has said no. And because they've said no, I know that it's not a snipe. So anything you see on the screen right now, none of that's a snipe because it's been sitting for so long. And I would say that none of this is a snipe. And I would probably say none of what you see there. Anything from that Bo Jackson on the right side all the way to the left, none of that is a snipe because it's been sitting for so long. The Shannon Sharp is probably where I would kind of draw the line there. There's one that just dropped. Obviously 3 hours, 59 minutes, 45 seconds left. But those two definitely do have a chance to be a snipe, and that's where you need to consider what do they go for and all that stuff. And if you don't know what they go for, I'm not exactly sure what Shannon Sharpe goes for. So what you do is you filter the Shannon Sharpe, and then you adjust the price to find what he goes for. So I don't know what Shannon Sharpe does, so I'm going to go NONSH. That's going to filter Shannon Sharpe right there because that's part of his name. And then I'm going to bring the price up. I'm going to go to 70,000 coins and see what there is. And there's still just those two cards. At this point, I know that those are snipes, but I'm not going to buy them just because. How about 85,000 coins? Is there anything here? So there is. So we're seeing some 96s, we're seeing some 98s. And you look at their prices, it's up 79K, 80K, 82K, 72K right there. So we're going to call it 73K. If he's up for 73K, you can probably sell him for low 70s, maybe low 60s rather, somewhere around 60 to 65,000, and you can probably make 55 to 60,000 coins. So these two right here for 42K and 49K, those are snipes. Now I'm going to go back to the filter that I was in, clear the name, put the price back where it was, and we can look at this. But that is one of the more important things to be aware of, is that if the card has been sitting for a long time, it's probably not a snipe. Because if it is, it's going to get bought, and the bigger the snipe, the faster it's going to get bought. So if our 100,000 coin card that we're talking about, our imaginary card, if it drops for 70K, it'll get bought, but it might take 5 minutes to get bought. Now, if that same card drops for 30K, it's probably going to get bought within the first minute or two. Maybe in the first 30 seconds. It's going to get bought pretty quickly, especially if it's a big snipe. Now, the last two things to talk about. First, if you've never seen a card before, it is more likely to be a snipe. So in this filter, I've been in this filter, I have never seen in this filter a 98 overall Ray guy. If I saw a 98 overall Ray guy in this filter, I know that's a snipe because I know what he goes for, but that is a card that you've never seen in this filter. So if you do see him, it is much more likely that he's a snipe than it is that maybe an Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders is a snipe, because you've seen those in here before. And of course, if there's a card that goes for 100K, it's pretty rarely going to drop for 50K or less. But for these cards in here that go for like 60 or 70K, they're going to drop in here a lot more often. And now the final thing, and a really big thing to consider, is risk and reward. You always need to consider the risk and the possible reward involved in every single snipe that you're considering. So Shannon Sharpe right here, 49,000 coins. I said that I could make like 55,000 coins. So my possible reward is 6,000 coins right there, 6,000 coins of profit. The risk, however, is that the 73,000 that he's up for isn't his true price, and his true price is lower. So maybe his true price is 65,000 coins. So I've got 6,000 coins to work with there, but there is still some significant risk. And obviously, if we scroll back here, we have a Jerry Rice. Look at the Jerry Rice all the way on the left side for 50K. There's one right next to it for 45. So I already know that if I buy that Jerry Rice for 50K, the possible reward doesn't exist. The only thing I can do there is get a negative snipe. And that's, risk and reward. You always need to consider those two things. Now, that's pretty much it for this episode. Let me know, as always, down in the comments of this video or any of the other How to Snipe videos if you have a question about something I said in the video or something related to sniping. Let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best to answer it. But that is going to be it for the 4th episode of the How to Snipe series, and possibly for the entire How to Snipe series, at least in MM20. I think this went really well, and I liked making these, even though it was a bit difficult. So I think I am going to try to do the same thing for MM21 when that is out. So definitely stay tuned for that. I hope y'all are getting excited for MM21 like I am. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe as always, and I'll see you next time.